Hi, I'm Peter J. Ray. Welcome to Adventures in History. Today's topic is Dearest Mother and Dad. Love, Ruth, John, Mark, Pamela, Patricia, and Peter, 1965, Part 145. This is based on the original publication, Small Shaw Family Memories Collection, or SFMC, number 64, published on May 11, 2001, containing letters from my mother. 20689 Beechcliff Boulevard, Rocky River, Ohio. Monday, September 27th, 1965. Dearest Mother, I'd love to write a long, good letter, but these fall activities and meetings and the many, many child needs really have kept me hopping. With all 4 children in school, each one has so many things: violin lessons, cello, brownies, Girl Scouts. And then I have all the PTA meetings, too many, and the Nature Center ones. Thank you for the birthday gift. It is lovely, and I'm sure you put a lot into it. You sent me one a couple of years ago, also lovely, and so did John's mother. And I have 3 beautiful slips that I need, but I can't wear one. I swore I'd never say anything. Wasn't right after all the exchanging I did for John's mother, but it seems a shame to see them go to waste. And I don't know anyone they'd fit. You see, you think of me as a big girl, and I weigh 122 pounds and wear a 34C bra or 36B. The 38s are inches too big, and with the short skirts, the long are too long. John's mother thinks I'm small, so a 34 slip, also too long, is too tight and long. John says I'll have to grow into them. I must have sent you hundreds of things that haven't fit or been right, and you are too diplomatic to say so. We had a lovely time at Lakeside, Ohio. Lovely, lovely, and we've had a week of 90-degree weather. And we went to Bay Point and went swimming last Sunday. Lovely, lovely. We can hardly wait for the Bahamas. The island was hit by the hurricane and our house slightly damaged, but Percy says it'll be ready for us. We're always ready for the beach and vacation. John went to Toledo, Ohio, and back today. I have lots more clothes if Doris could use them for the girls. Patty has outgrown her red winter coat. Could Janet use it? Shar McQuilkin took me to an Oberlin Women's Tea and Art Show juxtaposition at the art show, and Thursday we're going to the Holmes tour and taking John's mother and Carol, and Char's taking Don's mother, and lunch at the Clifton Club. We went to the Cleveland Browns football game Sunday by boat. John's younger partner has a 32-foot powerboat and sleeps 6, a lovely thing. 3 couples of us and Mark and their son. Tell Dad we used the motor to go back up the river in Michigan. We pondered that ourselves, and John thought it alert of Dad to pick it up. Didn't know he read my letters that carefully. We went to another wedding reception of one of my former pupils, Catholic, Polish, and then to a big Jewish party, very lavish, on the east side of Cleveland. And too many PTA meetings. We had 350 parents at one. Thank you, dear. Love, Ruth. 20689 Beechcliff Boulevard, Rocky River, Ohio, October 7th, 1965. Dear Mother, your 2 letters arrived today, and I was so glad to get them. You have a lot going on, too. I do hope that I can get the coat away for Janet soon. I don't know if Doris will think it good enough for her. I have a whole box of more things, fall play clothes and dresses, but hesitated to send them in August, for I didn't know whether Doris would prefer that. I didn't. Just more things to clutter up the house when she's trying to keep it neat for prospective buyers. I have a lot more summer things too, but we'll wait until spring. I'll send the slip also, but don't buy another for me. The sizes are so hard to judge unless you try it on. Why don't you get one for yourself? I looked for a gold-colored one today, but am a little late in the season, I guess. With so many meetings to attend, such a variety of affairs, and such a difference in weather, I've found my wardrobe a problem. It seems I shop so much, but never get caught up, and the children, too, need so many things. Fortunately, I got Mark, and I got Mark and bought him about $200, new glasses, pants, shirt, sweater, gym clothes, shoes in August, and even Patty picked out and bought her winter coat the day after we got back from Labor Day, except she hasn't worn it. John said that preparation ahead made school beginning less hectic, but even so there are so many things. Yes, Patty takes piano, Pamela a private cello lesson, and Mark his violin. Patty's in brownies, Pamela Girl Scouts and social dancing, and Mark Boy Scouts and confirmation class. It's been lots of scheduling and driving. Then I've had a PTA course and many, many meetings. Let me tell you yesterday's schedule. Up at 7:15, Mark and John leave about 8 o'clock. Pamela 8:15, she's on safety patrol. Peter and Patty at 8:30. From 9 to 11, I attended a PTA course, Parliamentary Procedure. The children arrived home for lunch as I did at 11:30. Then at 12 o'clock, the girls go to school, and I have a Science Center Women's Board meeting that I conduct as president, home about 3:30 as the children, pick up Mark, Pamela at Girl Scouts, and take Mark to his 4:30 violin lesson in Lakewood. While he's there, I went to the laundromat. My washer and dryer are gone. John ordered another pair, a yellow Maytag, but I haven't had any luck getting anyone to take away the other pair. We're getting the dryer Saturday with the electronic control that turns itself off when the clothes are dry. I hope it works. The Maytags were recommended in Consumer's Report. After supper, John had to go to the bishop's meeting at Trinity Cathedral, and Pamela had social dancing. By 10:30, I had the dishes done. Right now, I'm under the dryer. Tomorrow evening, we're going to a big United World Federalist Memorial Dinner. John is awards chairman. Steve Allen and Norman Cousins, editor of the Saturday Review, are speakers. My college roommate, Francis, from the co-op, sends us Saturday Review for Christmas. Would Daddy be interested in us sending him some of the copies? It's a weekly, and I'm afraid many are unread. It's quite intellectual. Next week, Monday at 8:30 a.m., I have to go to Toledo for a 3-day PTA convention, except that we have to be back by Tuesday night because we have open house at school both Tuesday and Wednesday evenings. I am involved. Yes, I got very lonesome to see you, and I wished I could, but realized it was physically impossible in September, but wished you'd come in August when things were quieter here. Time for the Bahamas will be here before we know it. Daddy should take his vacation then and go down too. I've been trying to put away summer clothes so they'll be ready for the trip. It's so hard to realize when the snow is on the ground that you'll need summer dresses and shoes. I got a wedding gift away to David Field this week. I think Chris wants to bring Elsie to visit us. I invited Elsie to come and see us this summer. She's going to help Pat when her baby comes. Saturday morning, Mark has to be downtown at the orthodontist at 10 o'clock a.m., and Patty's piano lesson is at 12:30. Mark's confirmation class is at 1:30 in Bay Village, and I have to have myself organized and the family in order to leave for Toledo. Next year it's Cincinnati. Guess I'll have to learn to say no again. Mrs. Friedrich, my German cleaning woman, is coming Monday while I'm gone. It's now 6 o'clock p.m. and John has a United Appeal meeting at 8 o'clock. He's in charge of Rocky River, Fairview, and Parkview, but I said I couldn't help this year. Last year I was secretary, and that was a big job. Love, Ruth. The Commodore Perry Hotel, Jefferson Avenue at Superior, Toledo, Ohio. October 12th, 1965. Dear Mother and Dad, well, we made it to the PTA convention, had a lovely Vesper service at the Trinity Episcopal Church, a young boys' choir. Also a fine high school choir tonight. More meetings. Had a lovely lunch, shrimp, and wonderful smorgasbord dinner tonight with the girls from Rocky River. We have to be home tomorrow night for a PTA open house Tuesday and Wednesday night. Also a special board meeting for the Board of Trustees of the Nature Center to look over the new building and planetarium plans, and then a meeting Monday for final plans and decisions. Poor Mark had a bad cough when I left. John said pneumonia. He really didn't seem too thrilled at the idea of my coming. It was to be Mark's Court of Honor for Boy Scout Merit Badge, and John was to present them. Norman Cousins was a terrific speaker at the United World Federalists' $25 a plate memorial dinner. 500 people were there. Our neighbors, the Zellers, provided all the champagne for the champagne party. He had to buy it. Steve Allen also spoke. Norman Cousins made you feel as if everyone should be mainly concerned with world peace and devoting all their energies to this channel. I will try to get Janet's coat away as soon as I get organized when I get back. I'm afraid I left a lot of things undone to get caught up on. I told John this was the first winter weather coming up that I've ever looked forward to, for I have so many projects that need to be done in the house, and I won't be tempted to enjoy the outdoors. And I know the Bahamas trip will be here soon, and lots to be done before then. If you see any small packages of dried foods or mixes, save them for the trip, for we have to take everything, almost all our food. Love, Ruth. 20689 Beechcliff Boulevard, Rocky River, Ohio, October 19th, 1965. Dearest Mother, it's so hard to believe that Sunday will be your birthday, and a big one. I bet you never thought you'd grow so old, but you don't seem it. I've always felt older than you anyway. Isn't that strange? We hope that you have a nice birthday. I wish that I knew what to send to you. It's also hard to realize this is the end of October. The weather is just gorgeous and the trees are beautiful in their reds and golds. But such a busy fall, I've been in a whirl. We made it back from the convention in Toledo. Mark still is in with his cough. We had open house that evening a couple hours after we returned, at school both Tuesday and Wednesday evenings. Then after that I had a trustees meeting at the Nature Center to see the new building plans. I barely made it home with the flu. One of the presidents of the convention had been sick, so I was in bed Thursday. Friday, Patty was overnight at Suzanne Collart's. They'd gone to visit an apple farm, and she was sick there. They brought her home Saturday morning sick. Saturday night, Peter was sick. Sunday night, Mark, and Monday night, Peter again. John didn't feel too good. So far, we're crossing our fingers for Pamela. I had both boys home from school yesterday and today. Pamela was so busy out selling Halloween candy for me for the Nature Center. She sold 77 boxes. I give her 5 cents a box, and she gives to the United Appeal. Today she also raked the leaves for Mark and had her cello lesson, and had a Girl Scout cookout last week. She's really turned into a ball of fire. She doesn't like my instant mashed potatoes, so she insists on peeling and cooking and mashing and beating them herself. She does a good job of seasoning, too. She's going to be a good cook and will certainly make someone a lovely, lovable, devoted wife someday. Tonight she immediately noticed John's haircut, which is more than I did. I just can't get over what a fireball she's become. She's always trying to find more things to do. I hope she escapes this flu. It's so tiring. I wish we'd had the flu shots this year, as they say it's going to be a bad year for it. I hope you get them. Maybe we still can. The children are all planning Halloween costumes. John is taking them all on a camp-out Friday night at Elmwood Park for supper and overnight. We're going to a cocktail party Saturday night away on the east side. I had a budget meeting here this morning and went to a trustees meeting last night. Ann White's is having a coffee in the morning Wednesday for Beth Shelley's mother-in-law from Canada. Marie Whites and Leonard just returned from 6 weeks in Ireland. I have conferences with the girls' teachers tomorrow. John has us all thinking about the Bahamas. He's ready. A week ago Sunday, John went to see Mr. Hurst from the office in the hospital with lung cancer. He'd been a heavy smoker. He was so bad John didn't recognize him. He was all alone and asked John what was wrong with him. John fed him his supper. His wife wasn't there. He died the following Saturday. John went to the funeral home Sunday and was a pallbearer along with the other lawyers in the office on Monday. The children all have their own pumpkins. We went out after church and bought them at the pumpkin stand. I finally mailed Janet's coat. Did she ever wear the other little red one I sent? This one has leggings also. I also sent a pink and blue summer coat this summer. Were they able to use them? I thought she could wear the pink one to school in the fall, or wouldn't it be suitable? It's so lovely and warm here, but I guess it won't last. I have lots to do this winter, though. I'm exhausted. Happy birthday. Good night. Love, Ruth. 20689 Beechcliff Boulevard, Rocky River, Ohio, November 24th, 1965. Dear Mother and Dad, and a happy birthday to Dad. I'm sure you will have a nice one with Bud and Doris and your grandchildren around. Patty has become quite indignant over the fact that she has a grandfather she doesn't even know, and some children in her class don't even have any grandparents. She insisted that we go to Canada next summer, However, John feels that by taking a month in the spring, he can't take another long vacation in the summer. We were certainly surprised and sorry to hear about the car accident. It must have been a real shock for you both and very upsetting. I'm glad that no one was seriously hurt. It leaves you quite nervous. Even now I have periods when I'm afraid I'll have another one. The Sestarics next door on Huntmere, the mother and daughter, had a dreadful car accident last spring, and the mother and daughter are still being treated for an eye injury and facial plastic surgery. It happened at the corner of Huntmere and Lake Road. A fellow drove into them as they were turning. I'm so sorry about the car, too. It would be nice to have Bud's little car. We like having a station wagon for the family. I had a nice letter from Doris yesterday. She said they had to get Janet a coat anyway. I had such a time packing those boxes and had to rewrap them in the post office and got overheated and coming down with a cold. The postman was so nice, gave me paper and string, but commented it was almost as much postage as the worth of it all. It always hurts me to give away the little things. I'd meant to take out the tiny white sweater, as I knew it would be too small for Joan. Your lovely slips arrived yesterday. I'd meant for you to get ones for yourself, as it's much easier to try them on, and it's such a job for you to shop and send parcels. It is for me, I know. We wondered if you would like to send our whole family the National Geographic magazine for Christmas. Then you wouldn't have to shop for us all. All the children at the dinner table were saying how useful it would be for them for school. However, not if it's too much, or if you have other plans, and only if you don't bother with other things. And we're wondering what you two would like. Would Daddy like an electric blanket, twin or double? I've forgotten what yours was. It has a 2-year guarantee, and I still have the slip, so hope it's okay. What color would he like, or would he prefer a sweater? What color? Maybe you could find one there better. What size? We're going to Carol's tomorrow for Thanksgiving and a big gathering. Barb and Bill Smith and Aunt Helen Lacey plus all the family. We have Mark home with a cough, and last week Peter with earaches. He's sort of deaf now, and I've been sick with my throat trouble. I picked 2 roses today and more are out. Bought 3 pumpkin pies today to take for Thanksgiving. Love, Ruth. 20689 Beechcliff Boulevard, Rocky River, Ohio, December 22nd, 1965. Dear Mother and Dad, Merry Christmas. Hope you have a lovely one seeing the excitement of your grandchildren. I thought I'd mentioned Mark's arm, but it was a very busy time, and it happened during the time I was sick with my throat trouble. The children were off from school for NEOTA Day, the teachers' meeting. It was a beautiful day, sunny, 6 weeks ago, and the children were playing outdoors. I had the building plans for the Nature Center expansion, and Nan Gregory said she'd return them for me since I had a sore throat. She was coming for them, but I sent Mark to her house with them next to Rocky River Park. Some of his friends were playing football, and he joined them. One boy about twice Mark's size tackled him, drove his elbow into the ground, and broke his arm. The boys came with Mark, and he was in severe pain and thought his shoulder was dislocated. We spent the afternoon at the hospital emergency room. He had an x-ray, and he's been incapacitated for 6 weeks to some extent. We've had regular x-rays, and it's healed beautifully. Of course, no basketball or violin. It was before his birthday, and he'd asked for a basketball standard as a gift and a family bowling party instead of a party. I was touched that he'd rather go with us than the boys. However, it was all off. The doctor said he'd never be able to play in his violin concert, but with just 1 day practice he did. He'd attended all the classes at school and practiced in his mind. His fingers were a little stiff, but he played in 2 concerts. The teacher said it was one of the best things that happened to the orchestra because they had been depending on Mark, and they found out how they sounded without him. But it was awkward for him, and he has to be careful for a while. I started this while having my hair done. This is such a busy time. I'm up until 2 o'clock a.m. every night. When Mrs. Friedrich, my cleaning woman, left today, she said, "Don't work so hard, Mrs. Ray." She bought us a basket of cookies, and Mrs. Vogler came with a big can of ham and gifts for the children. She was wearing her full-length mink coat that her husband made her before he died. We're having Dick's family and the folks here at 4 o'clock Friday for dinner and Christmas Eve party, then to church, then to Sandusky for Christmas Day, then Mark's confirmation Sunday morning and his godparents and John's folks for dinner afterwards. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Have everything ready. John's Uncle Fred and Aunt Helen, Mark's godmother, have been so generous to Mark, quite a bank balance for his college. She had a stroke this August and was paralyzed for a while on one side. She's been very faithful remembering Mark on his birthday and Christmas. She phoned to see if she could give Mark his prayer book for confirmation. Fred was president of the bank and now is president of the foundry and head of the hospital board. They have plants in Japan and Scotland and travel a lot, so I'd like to have a fairly decent dinner. The Christmas tree is up and the gifts wrapped and under the tree, but still many things to do. Hey, you shouldn't open Dad's presents. I spent a whole morning and went downtown and came back with John on Dad's sweater. We went to a couple of open houses last weekend to the Stevens traditional eggnog party, but didn't stay long. One of our neighbors is having one New Year's Day, and Shar is having a dinner. Probably the gals will wear long dresses. Shar told me she saw one in a store, gold with a train that looked like me, and I should look at it. It's at a bridal shop. Peter is so excited he gets up earlier each day. He's wild as a March hare. Pamela is a real gem. She made 2 batches of cookies. One she had Peter decorate, and that helped. And dear Patty has started to iron. She started with the handkerchiefs, all her own idea. Then pillow slips, and today she tackled John's shirts and the dust ruffles for the beds. I had to finish those. It's her brownie influence. They're all practicing their music for Santa Claus. Mark and Pam plan to play together. Blessed Christmas. The parcels are all okay and no duty. Bud and Doris is too. Love, Ruth. 20689 Beechcliff Boulevard, Rocky River, Ohio, December 29th, 1965. Dear Mother and Dad, Happy anniversary. This is one that always seems to sneak up in all the Christmas rush, and we always think of you and hope that you have a happy holiday season. Dave, Carol's husband's birthday is the day after Christmas, and Kathy's is this week, and we always seem to neglect them. This week seems to be the time to catch our breath, and with the children home from school, busy days with their new things. Thank you for all the nice Christmas things. The children said, "Oh boy," over the National Geographic. They think it's the best magazine and so useful in their schoolwork. The map puzzle of Canada they thought very educational and did it first thing Monday morning. The nightie is a very pretty one, and the china piece was okay. Wonders. We all held our breath. Thank you. The children will be writing too. We had a very festive Christmas Eve beginning about 4 o'clock. It was 60 degrees, and Dick and Joan arrived with their gifts, then the grandparents. We had dinner about 5:15. I had a standing rib, and John's dad said he hadn't had meat that good for so long. Santa came about 6:30 in his outfit, and Mike and Tracy sang Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and were so cute. Mark played the violin, Pamela her cello, Patty the piano, and they played Jingle Bells, and Peter rang the bells. They also played We Three Kings and Hark the Herald Angels Sing. And we were opening all our gifts. As we were opening all our gifts, John and Ann Whites came in their Mexican shawls with a gift for me. It was very nice. After everyone left, we cleaned up and went to church communion. Christmas morning, after the stockings were emptied, which was quick, Santa was so tired that she forgot a few things. The next morning, I understand, Pamela stormed upstairs in tears. "Who wants a bunch of rocks?" Those rocks that grow in colors underwater. We then went to Sandusky for a lovely turkey dinner with John's folks and Dick's family. Then, later in the day, Carol's family came over for some carol singing and supper. We came home about 8 o'clock, and I was up until 4 o'clock a.m. fixing the dinner for after Mark's confirmation. We were all up and at church at 10:30, first ones there. John's mother and dad and Aunt Helen, Mark's godmother, and Uncle Fred came also. Helen gave Mark his prayer book, and the bishop autographed it. After the reception at church, we came back here. Fred and Helen did not stay because Helen tires easily. She was paralyzed on one side this fall. John's folks stayed, and we had another afternoon and dinner together. It's been a very busy week with the children home from school. Patty had a bad earache. We did no other entertaining this year. We went to the Cleveland Browns. We went to the Browns. Remember her glass room for New Year's Eve, and were out until 4 o'clock a.m. She had a lovely party and buffet. Then yesterday afternoon, one of our neighbors had a lovely open house. We took the children bowling. Then last night, Shara and Don McQuilkin had a lovely dinner party in a Spanish theme. Mark said, "Aren't you getting tired of getting dressed and going out?" This morning we had to get up early for Mark's first communion at 8 o'clock a.m. and a breakfast for them and their parents. It was a big group, about 50 confirmants plus relatives. Very nice breakfast, too. After the football game, we took them to the latest James Bond movie, Thunderball. We saw Goldfinger at a drive-in in Michigan. This one was filmed in Nassau, Bahamas. It's been in the 50s and 60s all month. We've had no snow. We are going to the Bahamas March 18th until April 18th. Do you plan on coming? And if so, can you come the whole month? Would you like to meet us in Nassau? Will you come back to Cleveland with us? We plan to make air reservations soon. I'm out of paper. Good night, and thanks again. Love, Ruth. Now we have 2 letters that were written by the children, and the first is from Mark to his grandparents, his paternal grandparents, Gertrude and Doran Ray. Dear Grandma and Grandpa, thank you very much for the magnifying glass. It is very interesting to look at things in real detail. It also helps me in coin and stamp collecting. Thanks also for the dollar bill. A couple of weeks ago I was playing football and broke my arm. It was a clean break, almost at my shoulder. I won't be able to play my violin or do anything else with my left arm for about 6 weeks. I have been taking confirmation classes at church on Saturdays. I will be confirmed by the bishop December 26th. I would like you to come if possible. In science at school, I am studying heredity. We had to make a chart on characteristics. I picked a dimpled chin. Grandpa, Uncle Dick, Dad, Patty, and I have one. This is dominant. Everyone else has a recessive gene. I'll see you at Thanksgiving. Love, your grandson, Mark. Now we have a letter from Patricia to Santa Claus. December 2nd, 1965. Dear Santa Claus, I would like a umbrella that you can see through with a birthstone on it. I hope you will give the poor people some presents. 2. I am in 2nd grade. Love, Patty Ray. That concludes today's presentation. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. God bless you. Take care, and I'll see you next time.